She couldn't feel love until it started killing her. In the kingdom of Glacier, where the sun never rose higher than a pale disk behind perpetual frost, Princess Erlys Glacienne ruled from a throne carved of living ice. The palace of Crystal Spire rose like a jagged crown above the capital, its spires humming with ancient wards that kept the walls from melting even in the rare thaws of spring. Erlys's heart had been frozen since the day she drew her first breath. The curse laid by the Shadow Sorceress upon the royal line centuries ago was meant as mercy. No grief for fallen soldiers, no rage of betrayals, no foolish tenderness that might topple a throne. She felt nothing, not the bite of wind on her cheeks, not the weight of her mother's death 5 winters past, not the trembling fear in the eyes of nobles who knelt before her. She was beautiful in the way of statue's skin like fresh snow, hair the silver white of moonlight on glaciers, eyes the pale blue of deep crevasses. Courtiers called her the Ice Princess behind her back, and they were right. Her voice never wavered. Her decisions were swift and merciless. When bandits raided the outer villages, she ordered the passes sealed without a flicker of pity. When a servant dropped her jeweled chalice, she ordered the woman reassigned to the mines without a second thought. Emotions were luxuries for the weak. On the night of the midwinter festival, the great hall blazed with blue witchfire lanterns. Nobles in furs and silks whispered behind goblets of spiced wine. Erly sat upon her throne, spine straight, expression blank as the snowfields beyond the windows. Entertainers had been summoned to mark the longest night. Jugglers, harpists, a fire eater whose flames hissed against the cold. None moved her. Then came the last performer, a ragged young man dragged forward by the steward because the crowd had demanded something new. He was no court bard. His coat was patched wool, his boots scuffed from cobblestones, and his name was Silas Ember, and he was poor as hearth ash. Orphaned at 10, he survived by peddling cheap charms. Tiny glass suns, he claimed, could hold a memory of warmth, and by telling stories in the tavern squares for copper bits. His smile never left his face, even when guards shoved him. He bowed low, then straightened with a grin that reached his hazel eyes. "Your Highness," he said, voice warm as hearth smoke, "I've no silks or spells, only a tale from the slums. Shall I begin?" Erlys inclined her head once. "Permission." Silas launched into the tale of a boy chasing the sun across frozen mountains, believing warmth could be caught like a butterfly. His hands danced like shadows, laughter threading through the words as the boy slipped into a snowdrift. The nobles chuckled politely. Erlys watched, unmoved. When the story ended with the boy holding a melted snowflake that burned like gold, Silas looked straight at her. "Sometimes," he said softly, "the thing that thaws you is the thing that changes everything." A ripple of applause. Erlys raised one gloved hand. The steward moved to escort him out. "Wait," she said, surprising herself. "You will stay, as my personal storyteller. The court requires diversion." Silas grinned fearlessly. "As you command, princess. Though my stories come with bad jokes and worse singing." The court tittered. Erlys felt nothing. Days blurred into weeks. Given a drafty servant's chamber, Silas appeared each morning in the solar, spinning cheerful tales, while she reviewed ledgers. He teased guards, charmed maids, and once convinced the cook to bake honey cakes for the lower kitchen, because laughter rises better on a full belly. Erlys observed him like a curious bird at the window. He simply showed up, bright as sunrise, filling the icy halls with sound. One evening, after condemning 3 tax evaders to the mines, Silas found her on the eastern balcony with 2 mugs of steaming cider. "Even ice queens get cold," he said. She took the mug. "I do not feel cold." "Lucky you." Silas grinned. "My toes went numb years ago, yet I still dance." He did a ridiculous jig on the icy stones, nearly slipping. His bright laugh rang out. Something stirred in Erlys's chest, a faint crack like pond ice. She frowned. The flicker returned the next day when he gave her a small glass sun charm. "For your collection of things that don't melt," he whispered. It felt warm in her palm. Weeks passed. Silas began sneaking her out at dusk into the lower city. He showed her his tiny attic room and introduced her to old Mira, who called him my sunshine boy. Erlys watched him help neighbors and give his last copper to a street child. Cracks slowly widened inside her. She smiled once at his body song in the kitchens, then terrified, ordered him away for 3 days. He returned with a single winter rose he had coaxed to bloom. Even in Glacier, things want to live. That night, pressing the rose to her cheek, a hot tear slipped down. Horrified, she summoned Healer Thorn the next morning. "The ice recedes," he said. "Your heart grows warmer." "Good," she replied. Thorn's voice dropped. "It is not good. Feel nothing and live forever. Feel everything, and the thaw will kill you." How long? Weeks. Maybe days. She tried to dismiss Silas. He refused. "You're afraid," he said gently. "Your eyes are sky now." She threatened to flog him. He stepped closer. "I love you, Erles. Not the princess. You." Love struck like lightning. She felt it sharp and alive. Tears melted the ice on her lashes. She told him the truth. His face paled, but his eyes stayed bright. "Then we have now," he said. "Now is enough, if it's real." She locked herself away, but he climbed the tower at midnight and told stories until she let him in. They stole precious days in the wilds, laughing in ice caves, skating frozen lakes, kissing beneath the aurora. Every touch widened the cracks. She laughed, cried, and felt. On the 20th day, searing pain tore through her. Half her heart had thawed. In the throne room, she begged him to leave. He knelt defiantly. "I'm poor. I have only stories and this heart. Both are yours until the end." She kissed him fiercely. "Then stay. Make me feel everything before I'm gone." They fled into the wilds that night. Under ancient pines, they shared stories and one blanket. She danced with him on the frozen river. On the final morning, rare sunlight broke through. Erles woke in his arms, breathing shallow, hair streaked gold, lips rose red. "I love you," she whispered. "All of it. Thank you for stealing me from the ice." Silas held her tight. "Stay longer." She kissed his forehead. "I am becoming something new." As the sun climbed, the last shard melted. She gasped triumphant and glowed like the glass charm. Warmth poured from her, cracking rivers and sprouting green shoots in the snow. Erles sighed her last breath against Silas's lips, warm and beautiful at last.